to TiE Women Kerala 2026 Masterclass on Fundraising 101, Grants, Angels, VCs and Dilutions. So for the welcome address, let me welcome Ms. Dr. Nisha Jose, Chair, TiE Women, TiE Kerala, and the Chairperson of K. Mani Center for Budget Research. She's been instrumental in leading TiE Women Kerala, driving initiatives that encourage, support, and empower women entrepreneurs across the state. Passionate about building an inclusive entrepreneurial ecosystem, she works closely with founders through learning, mentoring, and community engagement.
Thank you so much, Akarsha. I hope I'm audible.
Yes. You're audible.
It's wonderful to see all of you all. And in one sentence, I would just like to welcome each and every one of you to this very beautiful session on fundraising 101 grants, angel, venture capital, and dilution, taken by our dear, very own, my very good friend, Roshan Kynadi. I have the very, very beautiful pleasure of introducing Roshan sir to all of you. It's tough introducing a person like him. However, I'll make it as crisp and short as possible. A little about Roshan sir. Roshan is a serial entrepreneur, investor, and startup mentor with decades of experience in building and scaling business. As CEO and co-founder of ZuperAp, Managing Director of Kynadi Plantations, Chair Capital Café, TiE Kerala, he seamlessly blends entrepreneurial innovation with the enduring legacy of the Kynadi family's strong agricultural roots. A firm believer that personal discipline fuels personal excellence, Roshan is also a passionate health and fitness enthusiast. We've had some very beautiful sessions by Roshan in our TiE meets. And it's very interesting to hear this side of him also. Anyway, I'm coming back to what we're here for. So drawing from his experiences both as an entrepreneur and an investor, he mentors early stage founders and provides practical insights into grants, angel investments, venture capital, fundraising strategy, and informed capital raising decisions aligned with their stage of growth. So, my dear friends, we have with us a serial killer. Yes, you heard it right. I started off by saying he's a serial entrepreneur. I'm calling him a serial killer. The reason why is because he kills all doubts that you have on how to raise funds. So that's Roshan Kynadi for you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Nisha, for the nice introduction. One small correction. I'm not an investor. In fact, many times I get confused with my cousin, Vinay James Kynadi, who is a serial investor. In fact, between us, Nisha was mentioning about ZuperAp. That is a venture which both of us have started jointly. And my association with the startup ecosystem started through TiE Kerala. Even though I joined TiE Kerala in 2012, 2018 onwards, within TiE, we started organizing a yearly event called Capital Café. And that was actually when I started getting to get acquainted with young startup promoters and also seeing them grow. And from my experience, seeing many of these young entrepreneurs raise capital, whatever I'm speaking to you today comes from this insight or what I've seen during my association with TiE and working in Capital Cafe. So let me start off by now simply asking you this question: where does all this fundraising thing start? It starts with asking yourself the first question: are you ready for fundraising? That is a very serious question, and many a times we believe we have a wonderful idea. Now the next thing is that funds should come and I should start driving my project. No.
അല്ല ഞാൻ ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാ
Excuse me. Kindly mute.
പണ്ടതും നിന്റെ ഐഡിയ ഒക്കെ തന്നെ ഭദ്രയൊക്കെ തന്നെ കയറിയത്.
Excuse me. Please mute. Okay. Okay, the point is this. The first question that all of us aspiring entrepreneurs or startup promoters should ask ourselves is, are we ready for fundraising? That is a very important question. Many a times we are not ready where we actually think we are ready. We have this feeling that if we have a good idea, the funds should start coming in. The most important thing is, I think, when we start thinking from an investor's point of view, when we start thinking from an investor's side, probably that clarity will come into our mind. Do we have the proof of the pudding? And where does an investor invest? In fact, when we start thinking from the investor's mind, what does an investor do? He is investing, he is putting in money with the belief that it will grow 3x, 5x, or 10x in the next 5 years. And in such a thing, there are two things which are very important. Number one, there are businesses which can only grow in an organic manner. You need to understand the difference between a business that can grow only organically, and there is another set of business which can grow exponentially. If you have a business which can grow exponentially, then investors are definitely going to be interested. But if your idea, if your uh, project or whatever it is, if your startups can only grow in an organic manner, maybe 15% every year, 20% every year, then you don't have a business idea that can get funding. What you should be doing is to try to raise funds from a financial institution. So the first thing that all of you should understand is the difference between a business that can raise startup funding and a business that can raise bank finance. The difference is organic growth versus exponential growth. If you have a business idea that can grow 10x, even on a small base every year, probably you are looking at something huge, something big. But if you are looking at something that can grow only at 15% or 20% max, no, you shouldn't be diluting your equity and taking in a partner. Just like a marriage, taking in a partner is also dangerous. I think, with a bit of joke, I would say getting married is easy, but getting a divorce is very difficult. The same applies in startup ecosystem also. You are diluting your equity, you are taking in a partner. If you get taken the wrong partner, you are heading for trouble. But if you have a business that can grow only in an organic manner, if you take a bank loan, what happens? You at a later stage, when you are able to repay the loan, the organization 100% would belong to you and your family or whatever. So the first understanding that you should have is the difference between a business that can grow in an organic manner and a business that can grow exponentially. Okay. The next point is having the proof of the pudding. See, any investor will not invest in an idea that, especially if you are a first time entrepreneur, I've seen investors investing in ideas when the entrepreneur is a second time entrepreneur, someone who has already built something successfully, who has sold it out, then definitely when you have an idea, an investor would like to chip in. But if you are a first time entrepreneur without the proof of the pudding, no one will invest in you or your startup or your idea, whatever it is. The proof of the pudding is very important. That is where the thing which I spoke about before would come in. Start thinking from an investor's point of view. An investor, what is he looking at? He is trying to make his money grow 5x or 10x in the next 5 years. And what does he look at? He looks at business models which have worked in a small geography in a perfect manner without any hinges, which can be copy pasted to other locations and can be scaled up very fast. That is where an investor comes in, because when he is confident that your idea is a practical model, your idea is a model that can work perfectly. It has worked in a small geography. It is not very difficult to copy paste that same model in a new geographical area, in a bigger geographical area, and it can still grow if this person has got money which I can contribute. Then what happens? The investor, whatever equity he takes, would start multiplying over time. So this is the first understanding about fundraising that you should have. One, the difference between a business model that can grow in an organic manner and the difference between a startup that can grow exponentially. That is the first understanding you should have. Second, do you have the proof? If you have these two, and third, you have a working model, then yes, any investor, when he looks at a business idea, there are few things that he will look at. Even if he gives you money, the next thing that he would look at is the team that you have. How long can you hold on to the team? Imagine you are a startup promoter, you are the sole proprietor of the company, you are raising funds, you have a person who's working as a technical head, he is the man behind the technology or whatever you are building. From the investor's mind, the question would pop up, what would happen to this company if that person leaves? Because he is only a salaried employee, right? So these are the things that you should put in place before you communicate to an investor. It could be an ESOP, you offer him some equity, whatever. You should be able to hold on to that person. You might have someone who is exceptionally good with technology. You might have someone who is exceptionally good with finance. You might have someone who is exceptionally good with now marketing or branding or whatever it is. See, these are all domains which you should have expertise on if you need to scale up over time. So all these areas you should have skilled people. And again, every investor would definitely accept the fact that the promoter cannot be the expert in everything. No, that doesn't happen, because the promoter would have something that he is passionate about if it is only one promoter, or if there is a group of promote 2 people, 3 people, each of them would have certain talents, certain skills, Probably one of them would be spending full time in the startup. The other two might be working, but again, their skills are very important. See, all these models we have seen over the years in Capital Cafe, many of them becoming successful. But the point is this, from an investor point, the team is very important. The potential of the business model, the model, the exponential model or organic model, this difference is very important. All these are factors which are very important. Okay, next, before fundraising, there are funds which you can access to perfect your product or service or whatever it is. And that is where grants come in. In fact, uh, I can see some of you are from outside Kerala. When I speak about Kerala, through TiE Kerala, we associate with almost all the prominent names in the state of Kerala, like IIT Palakkad, NIT Calicut, Kerala Agriculture University, Kerala Startup Mission, then TiE which is an incubation center focused on healthcare and medtech. See, all these are organizations which can provide you with grant. See, if you are a startup promoter with a startup idea that is to do with technology, something to do with technology, probably you look at NIT Calicut or Kerala Startup Mission. Both these organizations, there are, across the country, across the world, there are n number of premier educational institutions which have got incubation centers, which have got these kind of grants available for students and for incubatees. And that is what you should initially use to perfect your product or service or whatever it is. In fact, many a times in Capital Cafe, we come across startup promoters with excellent idea, but they don't have a working model. So that is where, in fact, I associate very closely with NIT Calicut, and I've been involved in as a startup Nidhi Prayas uh, grant approver for the last close to 10 years. And over the years, I've seen many startups, many young entrepreneurs coming with wild ideas, but again, practical. And what does NIT do? They give support not just in terms of money. Again, there is a difference. You want something. I still remember one particular startup which came to us through Capital Cafe. Uh, to make uh, they wanted to make a wheelchair that could climb stairs for someone who's sick, someone who wants to go climb the stairs, who stays in the first floor. You need something that can take you up. It has to climb the stairs comfortably. And when you climb a stair, what is more important? The floor shouldn't get damaged. It has to be soft, but it should have the kind of grip required to move up the stairs. So this particular startup came to us. We routed, we sent them to NIT Calicut, and they were given this grant of 10 lakhs. And again, don't get a feeling that the entire 10 lakhs would be given to you the moment you walk in. No, that doesn't happen. You have to deliver results because this is a central government grant and everyone involved is accountable for that. So they'll ask you what you would achieve in a certain time, probably the first 3 months, what you're planning to achieve. So like that, in this particular startup's case, they wanted to create a material that would be soft enough, but at the same time hard enough to resist the repeated usage, and at the same time should not spoil the floor. So these were the specifications that they had, and that is when the chemistry department came in of the chemistry department of NIT Calicut came in, and they said, we'll help you develop this product. There is a certain fees which has to be paid to them from the Nidhi Prayas grant. They demanded a certain amount. I think it was 30,000 or 40,000, some amount. But again, the advantage is that you are getting it done by a premier institution like NIT, and they are delivering the right product for you that is soft, that would withstand the repeated usage, that wouldn't spoil the floor. So the point is this, these are, this is the way you should be using your grant. This, it could be for your product, it could be for your service, whatever it is. And uh, Kerala NIT has got a grant. IIT Palakkad has got a grant. In fact, IIT Palakkad, they give you a grant. In fact, they from a few categories, they'll give you for a few categories if they find your startup interesting. Once they take you in as an incubatee, they'll give you 30 lakhs grant. And 30 lakhs, but again, there is a clause associated with that. You need to give them 6% equity in the company. But again, any institution like IIT is a good brand name. You get, in fact, it is not just at the beginning, even going forward, when you have technological challenges, you can definitely reach out to them for their help and guidance. So like that, there are other organizations also. Kerala Agriculture University, they give a grant of up to 25 lakhs for anything to do with agriculture. But again, it has to be something interesting. And again, the grant doesn't get approved just like that. It has to go to multiple levels. In fact, the final approval has to come from Delhi, the agriculture department office. But again, if you have something interesting, all these are options which you can count on. Kerala Startup Mission has got grants. TiE has got grant. In fact, if you have anything to do with healthcare and medtech, the best place to go to is TiE. And again, TiE, they have one more advantage. Many of the leading pharmaceutical companies, healthcare companies, have allocated funds to them, and I've come across many startup promoters who have used those grants to perfect their product and perfect their business model. So this is where grants would come in. Okay, once you are past these two stages, and again, the biggest advantage when you take a grant from one of these institutions is that many a times I've seen many young entrepreneurs utilizing these organizations to validate their technology or product or service or whatever it is. Because any validation given by a premier institute like NIT or IIT or Kerala Agriculture University or TiE is respected, because no everyone would take it seriously, because you can show that in your when you pitch to someone, you can definitely show that it is not just the grant, the validation that you could get from these organizations is of tremendous value. So uh, so once you are ready with all this, that is when you should start talking to angel investors. Angel investors are actually the first set of investors. In fact, um, see, probably when you associate with an organization like TiE, that is the biggest advantage that you get. Go to any meeting, any TiE meeting, you would definitely come across even a small investor would definitely be there. And again, many of the TiE charter members are people who are already successful in certain domain, who are voluntarily contributing their time and talent to build the startup ecosystem. And if you can reach out to such people, and if you can sell their idea, sell your idea, whatever it is, probably they would be the first ones to chip in with some funding. But again, do remember what I said earlier. You should have the proof of the pudding. You should have the validation. You should have the product or service ready. Then you can talk to an angel investor. You should never ever talk to a venture capital fund in the first round, because VCs normally come in the second round or the third round. See, generally there is a joke. The first set of investors are friends, family, or fools. It is many a times all of us would get we could convince one of our family member to come in and invest. But again, after that, once your product is ready, then you should try to convince an outside person, because convincing an outside person is actually a validation of your own product, your own service, and your own self. Are you ready? Can you convince someone with your idea? End of the day, even if you have the best product, the best service, if you are not able to communicate properly to the next person, you are no good. You are not going to become successful. So, after friends and family, next is angel. After this round only, after the first round, second round, maybe it could be the second round or the third round, only then you should look at VCs. And always remember something. When you are talking to someone who's already successful, he might be successful in a conventional model of business, whatever it is, but he is someone who can gauge you very fast. He can gauge you as a person, he can gauge your business idea very fast. He can, maybe technology part, he will not be good at. But again, having years of experience, for him to get someone to validate your technology, whatever it is not going to be easy. So these are the stages that you should go from family and friends, move to an angel investor. Then only you should look at a VC. Okay. This is the pattern that you should follow. Next thing is the last part which I want to add here is dilution. Don't get a feeling that with one round of funding, everything will start growing exponentially. No, that doesn't happen. Always, if it is family or friends, restrict it to a small percentage. If you have the proof of the pudding ready, after that, if you are speaking to an angel investor, never ever commit more than 10% in the initial round of discussion, because I'm sure, I have no doubt, I've seen many startups before, they would need additional funds over time when you scale up. So you should never ever dilute more than 15% during the first round of investment. Start off with, if you can bring it down to 7.5% or 5%, all the more better. But generally, it doesn't work. 10 is mostly, in most cases that we have seen over the years through Capital Cafe, equity dilution is always around 10%. So start off with that, dilute 10%, raise funds, and the next part is very, very important. What the moment you raise funds from an angel investor, family and friends, yes. The moment you raise funds from an angel investor, someone who's run an organization, the most important thing is proper monthly reporting, because you should definitely take the investor into confidence. He should have the feeling that this boy, this man, this girl is trustworthy. Every month, even if you are not sharing the P&L, at least the expense statement, the income statement, the bank statement, as much as possible, avoid cash. Make it only as bank transfers. Make it only as no, UPI. Today you have UPI also. So as much as possible, make sure that all the payments are digital. All these reports are sent regularly, monthly to your investor. Convince him he should tomorrow look at the first investor as the one who should be recommending your startup to the next investor. Any venture capital investor, the moment he comes to know that there is already an angel investor there, the first thing they'll do is reach out to the angel investor and get a feedback. How prompt they are, monthly reporting system, whatever. The again, very important when you send your financials, the number one thing that they would look at is, number one is compliance. Have you complied with all the government required the statutory requirements? Have you complied with all the statutory requirements? Have you tried to make sure that all your payments are digital in nature, bank transfers in nature, which are actually visible on your bank statement? Are you in the habit of sending this every month to your existing investor? Once you do all this, I have no doubt you are ready for a bigger game in life. So, I think I'll conclude. I'm sure all of you would have a lot of questions or doubts to clear. So let us do that. Over to you. I request all of you to switch on your video and to unmute. If there is no background noise, I would request you to do that, and let us have some interaction. I would definitely like to understand what you are doing, and at the same time try to help you or guide you in whatever way I can. Over to you, please. Please unmute, switch on your video.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Merin. So I have built a software product called Bondim, okay, which helps people to discover nearby events and people who are have a similar interest like you. Okay,
Okay.
so it's a software product. Okay, when I checked for loans in banks, they said they are mainly providing loans for buying assets and all. Buying assets and all. Okay, I need mainly for business operation, working capital, marketing, and everything. So, how can I raise funds for that?
Where are you based out of?
Kerala. My product will be launching in Kochi next month.
Oh, you are based out of Cochin?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So my suggestion is that you should approach Kerala Startup Mission. They have grants. They can channelize grants for you. So first, you need to get your product ready. I think you should remember what I said, the proof of the pudding. In
Mm.
fact, get your product ready, product or service ready, get it working. Using these grant, perfect your product. If you can, I think you can even reach out to NIT Calicut or IIT Palakkad
Okay.
with your product or service or whatever it is, and approach all these premier institutions. In fact, it is for people like you that these institutions like Kerala Startup Mission, NIT Calicut, IIT Palakkad are all there. You should reach out to them, and they have experts in each domain working there. And you should also reach out to them. It is not just that you go to the incubation center, work from there, take their grant. No, you should reach out to them, asking these questions that you asked me,
Okay. Yes.
right?
I have already applied for that Kerala Startup Mission grant. That's in progress here.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next.
Hi, myself Hiba Fatima. So I have been trying to launch a brand which is a modest activewear with coverages and all. So right now I'm in a product development mode and in a bootstrap mode. So like Sir told, I have to build my own product and then have a financial. Then only I have to go to the investors, right?
Right. See, probably one institution that you could reach out to was Kannur. I think there is an institution called NIFT, right? National Institute of Fashion Technology, or right? I think there is some institution like that.
Mhm.
In Kannur. Where are you based out of?
Right now, I'm based on Trivandrum, but my home location is Kochi.
Home location is
Kochi, Ernakulam.
Kochi. Okay. Kannur, there is one institution which is into fashion designing. So reach out to them. Probably, I think you're looking at a dress material, right? Active wear.
Yes,
It is
yes.
meant for working out. Or what is it for?
It is for the concept is for ladies, and the concept is like it should be an active wear and can be styled as a casual wear as well.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. Right. See, the whole point is all of us, if we need to succeed, there has to be some differentiation that is
Mhm.
exclusive to us, right?
Yes.
There has to be some differentiation that is exclusive to us. Always remember something. If we try to copy paste someone else's idea, it might not work.
Mhm.
There is one thing which I repeatedly say. In fact, I still remember once uh, for a grand approval, this thing, I was also invited as a judge, and a particular startup uh, came with a financial accounting software that had some features which were way beyond what Tally had. And I think you would definitely know that Tally is the largest selling financial accounting software in the country. But again, some features that he had were beyond Tally. This was few years back, around 3-4 years back. He had used AI to create some models. But again, I asked him this question. See, you become successful in Kerala, and Imagine you get a few thousand customers, and Tally starts noticing you as a fast growing organization. What would Tally do next? The problem with startup ideas is that you cannot patent your uh, no, you cannot patent a business model, right? So, what would happen if after 3 months you have gained a few thousand customers and Tally takes note of this? And how much time would it take Tally to copy paste that idea into their own, which is wherein Tally has got lakhs of or I would say crores of customers across the country. So always be careful with this.
Mhm.
There has to be a clear differentiation. Copy pasting will not work. There has to be something that is unique or different in your business model that others cannot copy fast.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Kala, please. Yeah.
Yes.
Can
Uh,
answer.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Kala from Seedis Technologies Private Limited. We have a product. Simply, we have a product called Ready-Made Footings. It's a foundation system that can replace conventional foundation system, in which we have to wait for we have to do the excavation and do the casting and wait for curing and all that thing. But here we have got a solution. It's a pre-engineered nail foundation. It's a ready-made foundation system. So at present, our company mm, has done the testing and has got, we are incubated in NIT Calicut and IIT Kanpur as well. From NIT Calicut, we have developed the product, and from IIT Kanpur, we are doing further studies as well. So we are at a stage when we have done some piloting projects as well, like around 60 lakhs of work product has been worth 60 lakhs of worth product has been sold out at present condition. More than 60, around now around 70 lakhs has been sold house. So we are at a stage where we want to get investors to be invested in our company, so that we could scale. We can do further R&D and can do the factory model factory as well. So can you guide us through, like we are looking for investor, and we are planning for like plan B as well is there in our mind, like we have to get some grants and or loans from like that also there is a plan is there. So I would like to know your opinion on like what how can where should we focus, like investing pitching for pitching, or we should focus on grants or loans, like you said. No, we are thinking that it's an mm, exponential scaling will be there for our product. It's we have to do it right now within 1 year. We have to do something so that we could scale our product. So I would like to know your opinion on that, sir.
Right. Since you have already associated with NIT and IIT, both these organizations have grants. So utilize that in the first round, perfect your product, and get validation certificates, any number of validation that you can get, even the smaller aspects which you might not look at seriously, get them to validate, get them to certify whatever you have created. then you are ready. Investor
We
side,
have got
once you have the validation, if you've already started generating revenues, I can definitely connect you to Kerala Angel Network. Because again, Kerala
okay.
Angel Network was actually part of TiE Kerala only. So both Nisha and myself, we are all part of TiE Kerala. And TiE Kerala, some of us, in fact, me and Nisha, we are not directors or involved in, we both are not involved in Kerala Angel Network. But most of our charter members are the ones who have created Kerala Angel Network. And over the last 5-6 years, they've created some beautiful startups in Kerala. So I can, you just, my contact, my details are there with Preeti. You can reach out to Preeti, who's there in NIT.
Okay.
And I'll connect you to Kerala Angel Network. You can go to Cochin and pitch there. I can help you with
Okay.
that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Again, make sure that
Okay. We have got validation from NIT. We have already got validation from NIT, and we got NABL certificate. Library lab facility has also been certified our product.
Okay, right. You can get my contact from Preeti.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other question? Yeah. Juhaina.
So I'm building a startup which is called Makery. It's actually an aggregator platform for homegrown brands. So
I think there is some disturbance in the background.
Make. Yeah. So can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Now you are audible. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are building an aggregator platform for homegrown brands.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, when we are aggregating these brands and we're not able to get into a revenue phase before accessing any kind of funding. Like, so is there a pre-revenue option for us?
See, the initial round is always, I think you should first reach out to family and friends. There is nothing beyond that. But again, once you have a working model, you can definitely reach out to an angel investor. But before that, normally it is very difficult.
Okay.
There was a time when during the COVID season, I'm sure you would have, like every month, you could see unicorns being coming up and so much of write-up and all that. But again, if you see today, many of those unicorns which were talked about during those COVID era, many of them have faded out. They are not successful. So the point is, there is no, just because you have money, you do not succeed. And again, investors have also understood that through the hard way, investing money, losing money. So the point is this, today investors are a lot more cautious when they make an investment. They make sure that the model is perfect. The model has got a very high chance of becoming successful. So not very easy. It is easier said than done. Probably what you can do, it is, you said homegrown. What are the kind of products that you are looking at? It is curry powder or food products, whatever. What is it?
Then, yeah. It's actually made to order products, which women entrepreneurs do mostly on a smaller scale, in a small unit or in their house, crochet, and then they do like raisin art, yeah, that kind of things. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Got it. I think, see, that is a particular is a place or domain which doesn't have much competition. So I think you have a fair chance.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? If not, we'll wind up. Nisha, over to you. Thank you very much, Nisha and TiE Women team in TiE Kerala for organizing programs like this. Over time, I'm sure the results of the work that we put in would become a reality. I'm happy to see many young entrepreneurs contributing their valuable time to listen to talks like this. Very positive to see, very positive. In fact, even now there are 27 members, 27 participants in this Zoom meeting. Happy to see that. So I wish, let me take this opportunity to wish each one of you the very best, each one of you success, each one of you satisfaction in whatever you are doing. All the best. Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you, sir.
Akarsha, yeah. Akarsha, you there? Okay. Can I request my good friend Anil Balan to say a few words and conclude?
Thank you very much, Roshanji. It's great. I'm happy to be part of TiE, and thank you very much for this session. On behalf of TiE Kerala, I would like to thank Roshan Kynadi for sparing the time and speaking to the entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs of Kerala and abroad. And very well detailed, and you have covered it completely, the entire life cycle of a startup, starting from ideation to scaling up. And I would really appreciate for your time. And once again, thanks to all the participants who took time today to be part of this the TiE Kerala Women Masterclass on Funding 101 Grants, Angels, VCs, and Dilution. Thank you very much, Roshanji. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Best wishes to each one of you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.